Hello, my name is Dib and today I am going to go to the mall and steal stuff. When I get to the mall, the first place I will go is some generic Chinese buffet with the intention to dine and ditch. Once I get there I will be seated by some Asian waitress who is doing this gig to get through an Ivy League school her high expectations parents made her go to, and I will then stand up and go over to the buffet and make a massive pile of pork rice and noodles, and I will go back to my table and chow down on the oriental cuisine that was in actuality designed by white people. Like nom 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 nom, the soda is poorly mixed. As usual, nom 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 nom, and now I will belch like belch 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 belch, and then I will go back over to the buffet and collect as many of those sugar-coated doughnut things and wolf them down, and once I am certain no one is looking I will rub my one on all the food like rub 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 rub. Why the fuck am I doing this rub 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 rub? It's funny but it has nothing to do with stealing. Rub 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 rub. Little pig. Little pig, let me in. Rub 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 rub. Not by the hair of my chin chin. Rub 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 rub. And then I will proceed to the bathroom and go into the stall, where I will touch my uvula and puke up all the food I just ate like puke 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 puke. There are so many swastikas and penises in this stall. Puke 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 puke. Lots of racist crap was carved on the stalls of the Chinese buffet earthbound used to eat at puke 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 puke. And then I will go back to my table and see my fortune cookie is on the table along with my bill, and I will open the fortune cookie and I will read it aloud, in which it says bend the rod while it is still hot, and because I'm a little pervert I will say between the sheets. Some older kids will snicker, while an adjacent Mormon family will look at me in disgust. I will stick my tongue out at them, while pulling on one of my eyelids with my middle finger and say "Cucha me weeble cutis" before prancing out of the restaurant like the flamboyant blood-sucking vampire I am, when all of a sudden the manager will step in my way and say "Where the fuck do you think you're going?" And I will say "Oh nowhere, it's just that the food made me puke my guts out so I am refusing to pay for it." The manager will say "Bullshit, I could see your cheekbones all the way from Shanghai. You do this all the time. You were attempting to dine and ditch," and I will deny it up and down, when all of a sudden he will conjure up his chop suey Charlie Chan Dragon Man powers and transform the restaurant into a dojo and challenge me to Mortal Kombat, and says that if I win I can go free, but if I lose then I will be banished to the hell, where I am repeatedly crushed by rocks for a bajillion years. So we will fight and it will sound like hi ya 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 hi ya. Your president does look like Winnie the Pooh. Hi ya hi ya hi ya hi ya hi ya hi ya hi ya. More like Winnie the Pooh Pooh Platter. Hi ya hi ya hi ya hi ya hi ya hi ya hi ya. And then the manager will get dizzy and a voice of nightmares will say "Finish him," and I will rip his spinal cord out. The voice will say "Did wins fatality," and I will then be transported back to Earth. Since I puked my guts out I will be hungry again, so I will go to the Mrs. Fields stand for a nice warm cookie and I will say "Hello sir, can I please have a chocolate chip and M&M cookie on a sick popple stick?" And the guy, who obviously does not give a fuck, will say that they don't make those anymore. I will get pissed off and just ask for a couple chocolate chip cookies, and he will charge me, and I will say I don't have any money but I just mined a new cryptocurrency coin called Dibcoin and it's worth the amount I need, and the guy will say that they can only accept stuff that is real, and I will assure him that it is real, and I will jump up and pull out a can of mace and spray him in his eyes and face area, and he will scream in agony as I twirl around and land on the glass counter as he falls over clutching his face, and I will say "Keep the change." I will then hop down and grab him by the collar and start beating the crap out of him like punch 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 punch, using your cookie sheet as a weapon. Punch 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 punch. And then the manager will step out of his office and say "What the fuck is going on here?" And I will say "Oh nothing, I'm just registering a complaint with this employee." And the manager will say "Oh sorry, I was expecting someone else to be on the other side of the door, carry on," and he will go back in his office. I will then eat as many cookies as I can fit in my mouth and then steal all the money in the register and save some cookies in my coat for later. I will be strolling down the mall, when I will see a gun store and realize that I have been putting off arming myself for my final battle with Zim, so I will go into the gun store and talk to the gun store owner and ask for the 12-gauge autoloader, and the gun shop owner will say that the one I am pointing at is Italian and I can either go pump or auto, and I will then ask for the 45 long slide with laser sighting. The gun store owner will say that it's brand new and just came in and will praise how good it is, explaining that the laser targeting is activated by touching the trigger. I will then ask for the phased plasma rifle in the 40-watt range, and the gun store owner will say that he doesn't have one, so I will disregard and ask for the Uzi 9mm, and the gun store owner will commend me for knowing my weapons, and I will tell him I'll take all of them. The gun store owner will go get some paperwork and I will take a shell from the box and put it in the autoloader, and the gun store owner will say I can't do that, and I will point the gun at him, say wrong, and shoot him and then steal the guns. I will then go to the arcade, but instead of blowing every dollar I made, I will instead utilize my Mr. Krabs quarter, which is a quarter on the end of a string that I used to use with payphones to prank call people when I was littler. I will use this time to practice my aim by playing the Area 51 rail shooter, but I will find that I can't find the coin slot, so I will turn to the kid playing the Alien vs. Predator game who somehow looks gothier than I am and ask him where the fuck the coin slot is, and he will say that arcade machines don't take quarters anymore and that you have to ask for a card that they will put money on. So I will go over to the counter, and when the guy isn't looking I will grab the guy by his neck and he will ask what the fuck I am doing, and I will say the Vulcan neck pinch, and he will say that I need to pinch him where the neck meets the shoulder, and I will ask if this is what he means, and he will say yeah and then fall down. I will then take a card and put $1 billion on it and go through all the games and just keep swiping the card until I get the high score on each of them and go down in history. And if I were some other kid, I would put in the word ass, but since my name is 3 letters long, I will just put my name in. The only machine I will not do is Pack-Rat, because that is my sister's favorite game and I don't want to tarnish her legacy, because hey, I may be a kleptomaniac but I still need to be a good big brother. After the live studio audience goes away, I will see some fat mall cock that looks like Kevin James pointing at me, while talking to the mall security guy who has gray hair and armor padding for some reason. I will be cornered by the motorcycle games and the mall security guy will say you're in big trouble you little shoplifter, and I will say hey look over there, it's Edward Furlong, and he will turn his head and I will jump up and do a roundhouse kick in his balls and then run away. The mall security guy will chase me through the mall still walking off the damage I totally dealt to his gonads, when I will see him and girl walking past the Urban Outfitters and the Hot Topic, which are conveniently next to each other, and I will see a fountain with a Cupid statue peeing the water. This will cause me to hatch an idea and I will jump in the fountain, wade through the water, and I will screams him and he will call what, and I will screams him again and he will call what, and I will screams him again and he will call what, and I will cut the bit short and take some water in my hands and throw it at him. The water will splash on Zim and Zim will go, you fool, do you really think you can defeat me so easily? I applied a salve to my skin that makes me immune to water and I will scream I'm counting on it, come and get me bitch. Zim will drop his bags, let out a maniac shriek and attack. He will jump in the fountain and retaliate by splashing water at me, and I will return fire by splashing more water at him. This will cause all of the Zader fangirls to see this and surround the fountain with their phones in the air, and this will create a barricade of fangirls that will block the mall security guy. The mall security guy will get so angry that he will pick up the fangirls one by one and throw them, and realize I will need to kick it up a notch, and I will tackle him and we will wrestle in the fountain, and the fangirls will get so crazy they will all stroke their pussies while watching, and I will secretly fantasize about me and Zim reenacting that scene in Attack of the Clones where Padme and Anakin Skywalker roll around in the grass after encountering a wild Pokemon, and some of the Zader fangirls' faces will peel back and we will start making out, while Gur just stands there, having watched the whole time, and say I love this show, and I will see that the security guy's hand is sinking into a pile of spastic fangirls, and I will make a run for Spencer's gifts, and I will be on such a high that I will pull out a double-barreled shotgun and point it at the vendor and scream, give me all the fucking sex toys, you fucking motherfucking fuck. Zim will then run into the Spencer's Gifts and say, did we haven't finished business, get over here and fight, and the store clerk will take this opportunity to push a button that sounds the store's dilbus alarm, which will sound like
someone has attacked to steal the dilbus. Someone has attacked to steal the dilbus. Someone has attacked to steal the dilbus. Someone has attacked to steal the dilbus.
And I will grab as many sex toys as I can carry before tackling him, and we will crash through the glass banister and fall to a lower level of the mall, and we will continue to grapple when all of a sudden the Zader fangirls will swarm us and we will run away from them like the opening scene of A Hard Day's Night, and Zim will order Gur to distract them with his cuteness, and Gur will do a dance and sing do dee do dee do dee do dee do a. The girls will all go all and we will continue to run until we stumble into a pawn shop, and I will grab a morning star from one of the shelves and try to smash Zim's skull in, but Zim will jump out of the way and will tackle me to the ground and pin me to the floor. I will assume myself a gunner, but then the cocking of a shotgun will halt our struggle, and we will look up to see the pawn shop owner telling us to stop horsing around. He will tell Zim, get your foot off the wetback and both of you get in the basement. Zim and I will be in the basement all tied up with ball gags on, and the pawn shop owner and the mall security guy will then open a box, and some pudgy lady in her middle ages will rise up and walk over to take her place next to the mall security guy, and I will ask through my ball gag who she is, and the pawn shop owner will introduce her as the soccer mom who got our show cancelled, and Zim will scream through his ball gag with a dire need to kill in his eyes. The mall security guy will then point to us and say, eeny meeny miny mo, catch a tiger by the toe. If he hollers, let him go, eeny meeny miny mo. And the stupid soccer mom will then grab me and drag me behind a green door and start screaming Bible scripture in my face, and her trailer trash Walmart shopper voice will make me cringe so hard that adrenaline will all but replace my blood, and I will break my bonds and smash the bitch to death and escape. I will be on my way to go back to stealing more stuff, but my guilty conscience will compel me to go back to save Zim, and I will take a lightsaber off the shelf that will have a brown-skinned hand gripping it. I will take the hand and stick it down my pants before rushing into the basement, igniting the lightsaber's purple blade with a war cry, and split the pawn shop owner down the middle. The mall security guy, who at this time will be violating Zim, while Gur stands there and says, I love this show. The mall security guy will turn around and laugh and say, I see you have found BMF. You have good taste, but what you may not know is that I have a lightsaber penis, and his lightsaber penis will turn on and Duel of the Fates will play, and we will have an epic lightsaber fight that will sound like bazip 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 bazip. I think Kathleen Kennedy is going to sue somebody. Bazip 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 bazip. I dare someone to draw rule 34 of this. Bazip 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 bazip. And then a shotgun blast will blow the mall security guy's guts open, and I will seize him holding the pawn shop owner's shotgun, and he will say that he is going to get a couple of other invaders to teach him a lesson with a pair of pliers and a blowtorch, and will scream, you hear me, mall security? No human forces their crude means of reproduction on Zim. I will then ask if we are cool, and he will say yes, did for a time we are cool, and Gur will say, I love this show. Deg, that all sounds very bulimic kleptomaniac movie referencing assault and murderingly awesome. I think I will go to the mall and steal stuff right now. See you later, paranormal investigators.